You think you can just lie to me because you're hot and fine?
Hello, hello, hello. We're talking about Traitors season 4, episode 6.
Can I just say, I do not like Ron. I really want to make sure that's clear, but I don't really understand the evidence against him. Is it simply that he got the Portia thing incorrect? Because I do think that makes him an asshole.
The two big things it is, and as Ron said, is that people liked Portia and were upset that Portia left. And I think the other thing is that people were thinking Donna that first round table. The fact that he was defending Donna and Donna ended up being a traitor, I think that's the other piece. I felt like he defended himself pretty well. Like I feel like everyone's like, and I felt like he defended him so well that people were like, I don't think you're a traitor. I honestly didn't expect him to go home. I was surprised by the vote.
I think the other piece is the unfriendliness.
Hmm.
Because they've clocked that with Donna as well, that Donna did not seem friendly. And I do find that a bit interesting in terms of that going to someone being a traitor. And I don't know if maybe their logic is this game is also about social, relationships and alliances, and you aren't making an attempt to forge alliances, which means that you aren't afraid of being voted out. On the other hand, it could also be, yeah, like you're a dark-skinned black man and you're not making us laugh. So what's the point of you? So you must be an enemy. Could, of course, be the alternative. But, even in his I want to shout out Lisa racist Rinna for being so thoughtful and kind. I want to shout out Colton as a great guy.
Literally.
I was like, shut up, Ron. And Rob, I just want you to know that you're really what the South is all about. I was like, shut the up, Rob. Rob and Ron, both of you shut the up. I'm gonna bleep. I bleeped myself and I'll bleep it again. I want to be on Ron's side so badly. I want to have the solidarity, but I want he keeps me off. I can't have the solidarity with you, Ron, because you are not really showing solidarity all around. Unless the person is I guess white or some celebrity.
Yes.
Like, you're a legend. Shut up.
I am wondering about the social strategy of it all as well. I'm just not sure if it's strategic that people are saying he needs to be social, or more these people just want people to be nice to them and they don't like that he's not friendly with them, which, yes, he's an asshole, period, right? Him talking about, oh, Dorinda and I can't have a conversation without it becoming disrespectful. I was like, what is happening off camera? I need somebody to get on Twitter and tell me ASAP. But the fact that he went around and complimented everyone and then they're all like, oh, let's keep her on. But what do we think of his strategy of going around and doing his goodbyes? Or do we think it was strategy, or do we think he was just giving up?
So I think he was giving up,
Mm-hmm.
but I felt like it was annoying because their whole, their critique of him this whole time has been that you're extremely unfriendly. So
Right.
I thought it was annoying of him to be like, well, now that I'm leaving, I'll tell you what I really think about you. I don't think it was a strategy to stay. I think it was a strategy to make everybody feel bad.
I think you're completely right. I will say when he did it though, and I could see everyone's minds pivoting, I was like, if this was strategy, well, you know what? Genius. Because it very much made me think of on Big Brother. There's this famous thing this guy did called Dan's funeral, where he was going to be voted out and he hosted a funeral for himself and everyone felt sad for him and he ended up staying. And it was 0 to 100 odds on him leaving. And then I was like, oh my God, Ron, I think you're pulling this off. And obviously he didn't pull it off, but maybe he would have if Colton hadn't started making accusations.
Colton and Lisa going after each other, which obviously caused such a close vote, I think that caused people to just be like, let me go with my first gut of Ron.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if Colton didn't bring up Lisa, I feel Colton would have gone, honestly. And I think putting up that defense, I think changed it a bit. Because Ron voted Lisa because he based on the evidence, but I think Ron would have voted Colton because Colton was the other option if no one brought up Lisa. But Ron, once Ron put Portia on blast and got Portia out incorrectly, I think the housewives were not a fan, and I feel like that was something that definitely soured him in the whole house. Is that which he was not nice to people like we talked about, but the housewives are against him, and I feel like if you showed care to Ron, I feel like the housewives being like, oh, you're supporting Ron now. So I think there's a fine balance, but I think Ron put himself in this position, and I think he almost got out of it. But I think the Colton and Lisa beef allowed him was the reason he got out.
I do want to say, just going back to what Cardamami was saying about how he didn't compliment Candace, and I hear your point, MC, about us not getting to him. But I will say, when he started going around, I was like, oh, he's gonna do the thing that I am forgetting her name, but somebody on Drag Race went down the line and like complimented everyone and then got to Lucy DeLuca and was like, and Lucy DeLuca is a basic bitch and her drag is not special at all. And I was like, oh my God, Ron is gonna get to Dorinda and say something nasty, but we didn't get to see it.
Okay, you know what? I will drop some tea about Dorinda in her very first season of New York. I believe this actually happened twice. The first time was caught on camera. She was at some fancy restaurant and just saw a random black man walking around and like summoned him to her table. And he comes over and is like, hey, how's it going? And she's like, we would just love some, like water or a menu. And he was like, oh, I don't work here. And she's like, oh, I thought you did. And then she did something very similar again. And we were like, he was just like a black man who was dressed nicely. Like
literally,
he wasn't in a uniform. It wasn't like, going to Target and wearing like a red top or anything. He was just a random person. And then she did something similar again. And they were like, I don't work here. She's like, oh my gosh.
Okay, yeah. So Dorinda can't be trusted, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, I am allowing for the possibility that Dorinda has said like weird things to Ron. I am allowing for that possibility. I'm just not allowing for the possibility that Candace has done anything to Ron. And
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Candace is the plan. I think even when Candace voted Ron being like, hey, I appreciate your consistency. He was like, I know I'm never gonna win over Candace at this point, which but yeah, but the Dorinda stuff, I'm like, for sure. I think I'll have to check, but I do believe Dorinda was going to be the last person based on where he started, from Jam Jam. So I do think what you're saying, Mimi, could have been right. Like, I kind of am curious to hear if that would have been the case.
Dang it, Tara, let him finish.
So the people who voted for Ron were Steven, Maura, Candace, Jam Jam, Dorinda, and Mark. Did any of those people's votes surprise you?
I was surprised by Maura, I think, because she was part of that group of 8 faithfuls that were considering getting Colton out. So I just thought, okay, like she's going to vote for Colton. And then when she didn't, I was like, dang, man.
Say more about the group of 8 faithfuls.
Yeah, so I think, I will say Johnny, coming in with the strategy, episode 6, he's like, let's get these 8 faithfuls together that we can control the table. But it is hilarious that 2 out of the 8 people that he mentioned were traitors. So, his plan was like going to sink at any point. But yeah, then they all get together before the round table and they're like, hey guys, let's switch to Colton. The group changes at that point, and then maybe the reason she wasn't on board is because Rob wasn't on board. What do we think?
No, I think she still has a grudge against him from the time he tried to be like, you're a traitor.
Yeah, I do feel like more somebody who's going to hold a grudge, like based on her past experience in reality TV. Mark, the dancer, I forget his name.
Mark Ballas.
Yes. And I feel like I got a lot being like, hey, I'm in this group. They want to do Colton, but I'm really feeling Ron more. And he was the last person to vote. And so I felt like the Ron vote made sense, but I thought there might be swaying because I felt like he was more like with Johnny from like let's do this from the jump. So I felt like I was surprised still after all of that that he wasn't swayed by Ron's niceties to everyone around the table.
I thought the group of 8's miscalculation of Eric was very interesting. When they thought they could get Eric to vote against Colton, it made me wonder how observant each person is and whether they were paying attention, because I immediately said Eric's not going to go against Colton. Colton's his like buddy. I thought that was such a miscalculation, and I thought it was a mistake for them to just leave Candace out. I understand them assuming Candace's vote isn't going to be swayed, but I thought it was a mistake to think like we can't even loop her in.
Agreed.
And like, oh, we're going to loop in Eric, who's been buddy with Colton the whole time. Hello. But this was a very, very tight vote, and it ultimately came down to Rob, who spent the whole episode being like, oh, I'm gonna like, dress all sexy today, and I'm gonna like grow some couple, and I'm, like give everyone my bedroom eyes. Like, I was like, Rob, I don't appreciate this. I don't normally even find him attractive, but I felt like I was like, why are you trying to be all sexy today? What is happening?
He was like, I'm about to really like mess up a lot of people's games today. Let me look extra good while I do it.
I felt like his accent was stronger this episode. I was like, I feel like this is Love Island Rob all over again, where like all of a sudden he's trying to be charming, and like if you know him, you're like, what are you up to? But if you don't know him, you're like, oh my gosh, he's so charming. And he like, oh, listen to that Southern accent. I mean, I did see a little bit of the darkness when he was playing. I couldn't tell whether it looked like chess, but the way they were playing it looked like checkers. Anyway, he was playing something with Ron. And he had this like dark look in his eyes, and he was like, "People don't think I'm smart."
Yeah, he isn't smart because I think everything he did today is messing up his own game.
Say more.
Oh, I think that he blowing up his trust with Lisa and Candace was a big mistake. Lisa and Candace are clearly going to have each other's backs over Rob's, and I do think that there's an uphill battle to like somehow get Rob out because I don't think anyone's eyes are on him. But I think that he took a big swing this round table, and it was a huge miss. And now he's just lost all trust with his fellow traders. So I don't know. Will they get revenge? I sure hope so.
I do want to just name that I think Rob's sexiness really worked on you, Katamami, because you have the cowboy hat. So just want to name that. But
Oh,
for
no.
but for me, I think that Rob got lucky because of the setup on the show that they didn't have to go to the turret.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he would have gotten his ears chewed off, and rightfully so. But I don't know if I think this is necessarily like bad for him. I think that it is not convenient. Like he was scared to talk to Lisa and see Candace, and I think that they're going to be upset and not trust him, which I don't think they should. But I do think that from all of the faithfuls, that Rob and Candace have the most trust out of the traitors are from the other faithfuls. I feel like Lisa will still be the first one out, but I think it'll be a competition between Rob and Candace at that point to see who will be able to survive. I don't think that they'll be going to the end together because of this vote. And because I do think that if Lisa gets voted out, I think that Candace will look pretty safe for the next few episodes because I don't think they will think that there's more than one housewife. But I do feel like I understood why Rob was like these two people who trust me, and I vocally said that I trust them to other people, though he willingly did that, which is his own fault. He put himself in that situation. I think that it's going to be a not great time for him the next couple of episodes, but I think that he still might be in a good place. I still feel like I expect Candace and Rob to still be around in 2 or 3 episodes, honestly. Not happy with each other potentially because of this, but I think they'll still be around. Lisa, I'm not sure, but yeah. But Rob definitely like he made a choice tonight and he has to like stand 10 toes down. And I feel like I don't know about Lisa, but I feel Candace will absolutely see through it.
I don't know. I hope so, but I don't know. I felt like even the way both of them were looking at him. I'm telling you. I know maybe he didn't consciously do it on purpose. I was like, he was giving them his bedroom eyes. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Because even the way he said, he was like, "I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
Like, he was pulling the like, "Oh my bad."
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys, he tried to get you kicked off of the show.
Right.
You need to be angrier with him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But they're both just like I felt like Candace just like crossed her arms and was like, "You stinker."
Yeah. She threw the olives at him.
Yeah.
It's just so ridiculous because he's like, I had to do it. And it's like, but your actions didn't start at the round table. All day you were doing this, talking about, I don't know about Ron. And then you see they're trying to flip on Colton. I don't know about Colton. Like you put yourself into that position tonight. And he really teed it up for Colton to accuse Lisa. So it's like, not only did you vote for Lisa, but you literally queued it up for her to get accused.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree too. He definitely he knew what he was doing, and I think he was trying to be like, I wish there was another name, but he knew the other name. The other name was Lisa, and he was like, if it gets brought up, I'm going to go that way.
Right.
And he knew what he was doing, even though he might have wanted another choice, but yeah.
I will say, he probably sees that Lisa is a sinking ship, and he doesn't want to go down with her, and he is probably correct. I think, Cardamommy did call it last episode, Lisa's not long for this world, so...
Well, I think that's a good transition to talking about, Lisa's experience this episode. So the people who voted, to banish her were Ron, Colton, Eric, Rob, and Natalie.
I mean, I could see how you're convinced by Colton's argument because, he's right. And so therefore it is convincing.
Okay, I guess we should get into this because I keep forgetting that he's right because Colton, and he's so annoying. And every other thing, has been based on clear random biases. I will say to continue with my confirmation bias about Colton, I noticed how gently, first I noticed how gently he was like, hey, isn't Rinna's behavior kind of odd? It wasn't the same energy he had with Tiffany.
Yeah.
And then his first approach, his first strategy was not to immediately vote off Rinna, but was to team up with her, which is interesting because he, if he clearly thought Tiffany were a traitor, he could have tried the same strategy with her, but he did not. We saw how he came at her. So I feel like I'm still right about who Colton really is. But I thought that was interesting. What did you two think about his strategy to tell Rinna, say a good word for me at the turret?
I just want to say, first of all, that you're completely right about the difference in his tactics. I did write down, oh, Colton's so careful about Lisa, but doesn't give an F about Tiffany. I wonder why. Like, it's so obvious. We see through you, Colton, and guess what? The rest of the internet sees through you too.
Yeah.
But I just think that he's playing in such an unhinged way. Like, if you're going to approach a traitor and say, hey, let's work together, don't do it in a way where you're so clearly trying to threaten them and intimidate them. And then the second she starts defending herself, he's like, I'm not trying to make a scene. I'm not trying to make a scene. It's just so like, God, it's the same thing with you, Cardamommy, where I'm like, maybe it's my confirmation bias, but everything he does, I'm just like, it's dripping with misogyny. And I'm like, go away.
I do think I agree that like the way he approached it too. Like I think everything he does was with a smirk, and I'm just like, shut the fuck up, man. Just constantly like, and yes, he's right. He's right in the situation. Like, cool, but I feel like it's just frustrating like how he approaches it all. I don't think what he did was a bad thing. I think that there are people but I think if you had a relationship with somebody, it's different versus like doing it like that, somebody you're like up against. I assume that he talked about it. His biggest point to why she'd potentially want to do that is to be like, I've told everyone if I die, it's because of you. They didn't show him saying that to her, but I feel like that would have been the convincing part. But I feel like he didn't even get that off unless that did happen. But something I do want to say and know, because I heard from an exit interview, is that actually Monet did this strategy with Candace. And I think it was important to note where Monet said to Candace very early on, it was like, Monet said that he trusted Natalie, Rob, C, and Candace. And he specifically wanted Candace being like, Candace, I don't know if you're traitor faithful. I know you don't know if I'm traitor faithful, but I trust you. And I trust that either way, can we agree to keep each other safe, whether we're in the round table or turret and never bring each other's names up? And Candace was like, cool, bet. Sounds good. And so I think that Monet was like disappointed in seeing that, like, even though she did that, even though she's like, I wish I said to other people, that Candace still butted up after they literally said that. Because Monet was like, I want to play hard. I'm going to trust Candace with this because I want to trust Candace. And so I just want to say the way Monet did it, because even though it didn't work out for Monet, I feel like Monet had a relationship with Candace versus like with Lisa, it's like, I'm against you. Everyone knows I'm against you. So let me try to work with it. And like, what do you expect from Lisa right now?
And he didn't have any relationship with Lisa.
Yeah,
exactly.
Of why did you feel comfortable making that approach to her, or like taking that approach with her?
Well, even the way he framed it in the diary, right? He said, well, if I can't I don't know what he said, like if I can't get her on my side, I'll take her hostage or something like that. So, he was not, it feels like with the Monet and Candace thing, Monet's like, let's try to have like a mutually beneficial relationship. And Colton's just like, how can I just like control everyone around me?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Colton's strategy failed. And Rinna, I will say I do not like Lisa Rinna. Part of why I eventually stopped watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is because of her. I just think she's like an awful person. She's one of those people who you think is gonna be like, well, not everyone would say this. I assumed she would be cool because she's like, I'm left, I vote liberal, I vote for all the like good things. And then I was like, oh my God, I mean, you vote well, I guess, but like your personality is awful. And like everything else you believe is terrible. So I would have conflicting feelings about her because she would be the only one standing up to all of these like super conservative people and being like, no, we should believe women. But then in the next episode, she'd be like going after someone's child. And I was just like, I don't know why she was offended, but she was clearly offended. And she then decided, you know what? Even though she knows he's not a traitor, you're a traitor. And I'm going to go against you and tell everybody that you're a traitor. But I will say there was another person who was already thinking about Colton, and that was Johnny.
Yeah, I liked that we're starting to see this like strategic side of him, that he's like starting to kind of play the game. I feel like it's a good time, you know. Sometimes people start playing too hard too early, and that's what leads to an early banishment or an early murder. And so I'm excited that he is, you know, spotting suspicious things about Colton, even though he's wrong. I like it because it's ending towards a something that I want to happen. But I will say, I think Johnny led the conversation, but going into the roundtable, I think Johnny, Tara, and Kristen had all talked about targeting Colton. So I'm not sure if I'll give Lisa the
Yeah.
credit for that.
Yeah. I was gonna say that. I was like, I don't think, like, personally, I don't know if Lisa convinced anyone of Colton. I think Lisa didn't do a good job of that. Like, because like the thing with Lisa, that she's not doing Lisa's not doing well as a traitor. Personally, because I feel like
Yeah.
anytime someone brings up a name, it's like, what do you think? And she's like, I don't know. What do you think? And someone's like, I think it's Ron. And then it's like, why? It's like, I don't know. He's a traitor. And then, and then same thing of like, literally hasn't said anything round table. Colton's like, I think it's you, Lisa. And then she's like, I think it's you. You're a traitor, Colton. You're a traitor because you're a traitor. And it's like, okay, you're not giving anything. Like, literally, like, someone literally said, like, I think in the round table, someone's like, is there like a reason like that that's Colton? And like, to her, not to everyone else, to her. And she's like, it's because he's a traitor. And it's like,
Mhm.
that's my issue of, like, I feel like she didn't, if Ron wasn't there, she was going out, you know? Not because of votes. I feel like she just didn't have anything to back what she was saying. Everyone else thought Colton already, but not because of her. So, but I think Johnny like came out straight. I feel we haven't heard anything from Johnny all season, and now he's like, hey, I have this strategy, and I'm like, okay, let me hear more about it. And I loved what he was doing, and I'm surprised that people didn't stick to it like they talked about, and they got swung the other way. I'm curious in what happened there, but I think that Johnny, Tara, and Kristen feel pretty locked in the decisions. So I am curious to see what this dynamic eight slash like what these three are going to be, because Johnny and Tara are a duo. That's pretty clear, but no one's really like
Mhm.
talking about it.
Well, I think they're trying not to like link arms too often. I think
Yeah,
they're trying to downplay that they're BFFs in real life. That's what
yeah,
I think.
definitely. I think Johnny might have, I think they both might have said as much at the beginning, actually,
Yeah.
to avoid that target on them.
Yeah. Like I think I heard a ex interview also from Monet being like, I didn't really know that I know Johnny and Tara were like in the ice skating world together, figure skating world, but I didn't know that they were like BFFs. I just thought, oh, yeah, they might
Mm.
know each other, like how drag
Mm.
queens might know each other. And so, but like, and it's like after I left, I was like, oh, they're like close.
Mm.
And so
Right.
I feel like just some people just don't know, I don't have that information or don't realize that.
I think that post roundtable, Colton, you know, deciding to make this big proclamation in the room of any traitors in this room, like, you know, you better kill me now. I'm gonna go for every shield. Da 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 da. I was just like, you're kind of laying out the red carpet for the traitors to kill you because, you know, maybe if you hadn't done all that, there's more room for them to say, okay, if we kill him, everyone's gonna think it's Lisa. But at this point, because you did all this like hullabaloo, I feel like it's a little bit easier for the traders to say, you know, or for Lisa to say, look, they're clearly framing me, right? They're trying to throw smoke my way, but maybe it's someone else. I don't know if it'll work because I do think Lisa's just like in a lot of danger because of all the other things, but I didn't think his proclamation did him any favors.
I agree. I don't think I do think like him making up, like, there's a point to be like he's telling everyone if I die it's Lisa, but there's a point where it's so much to be like if I die it's Lisa. Now people are like, oh, is Lisa gonna be framed? Like there's that like reverse psychology point of like you're doing too much now, and so I think he really surpassed that point. My perspective of Lisa, she's going to still try to kill Colton, and I hope so. Honestly, I feel like for TV, she should. She should walk over to Colton, grab his hand, and make him touch the. Honestly, like I don't care. I would love it. I would love every second of it. One thing I wanted to note on the episode was for the challenge, did want to know if it was actual people underground that had their bags of money sticking their hands out, or if it was something else. Because I thought it was like the hand was like waving, and then a dog came up, I think, at the end or something like that, where it was kind of like there was something happening. I'm like, oh, is that an actual person? So I wanted to know if there was people in the ground waiting to stick the hand out,
Right.
and if so, how long? How did that work? What was the logistics of that?
I'm torn on my prediction for who will be
Hmm.
murdered and who will be banished. I unfortunately do not have a lot of faith in Rinna and Candace opening their eyes and realizing that, Rob is essentially now trying to play like a gamer and he's prepared to throw them under the bus.
Hmm.
So I I could see a world where they don't murder Colton and they say, oh, let's take out someone who voted for Colton so we can put, further attention on Colton. So the people who voted for Colton it'd be Kristen, Johnny, or Tara. Oh,
I hope Lisa is just pissed and we get to see this housewife energy that we keep hearing about, and that she like walks into this dinner, starts a fight with Colton, takes off the brooch and just like throws it at him for like dramatic effect. And then, he's dead. I'm not saying she's going to play smart. She hasn't been playing smart this whole time. So and quite frankly, like, I just hope maybe she's like, you know what? I see the end for me. Let me at least just go out with a bang.
I think it's gonna still be Colton, and I hope it is, just because I agree that I don't think that Lisa necessarily has been doing super smart things across the board, and I feel like, hey, just lean into it. So, but I'd like that. I was gonna say force his hand to touch it, but I like the idea of throwing it at him. Like, that is hilarious. And it'd be funnier if she tries to throw it at him and then he like ducks and hits somebody else.
Oh my God.
Like that would be funny. But no one getting hurt in the process, obviously, but more just like the chance of it. So yeah, I'm gonna say Colton, and I hope it's some drama. I hope it's some drama with it.
Well, the preview looked like there's about to be drama at the banquet, and I can't wait till next week.
Yeah. I'm curious because it did seem like the only thing we got from the preview was that thing. So I'm wondering, like, will most of the episode be that, like, will it be like a murder in plain sight? The person gets murdered and they do a round table in the moment at that place. So I am curious. I don't know if it'll work that way, but I'm just curious about what's going to take place. But I did see. Did you all see some of the outfits that they were wearing for the banquet?
Oh, it's about to be a fashion show. I can't wait.
Did y'all see what Colton was wearing?
I hate him.
The only outfits that are burned in my mind are Colton's and Rinna's. Unfortunate that they're fighting because, what a pair.
Yeah. I do think Candace has a headpiece that is truly iconic, and I cannot wait to see it tomorrow, next week.
Who do you think will be banished?
Lisa. That's what I'm saying. Girl, you're going home. Just end it with a bang. Come on.
I guess that concludes our episode. Thank you so much, MC and Mimi, for joining me in this episode. Thank you for listening. If you listened all the way to the end, I have a special, special prize for you that you can only get if you subscribe to this channel. Hope to talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.